Dear students, I am sure that you have gone through all the topics we have done so far in this chapter and all the orderlies which we have discussed about. Now coming to another topic, cell theory, under the chapter, the fundamental unit of life. Now just ignore this, one L here. This is just, one diagram. Okay, now moving ahead, let me just, okay. Yeah, introduction to cell. So this we have already done. So far we have been seeing that cell is the basic structural unit and functional unit of life, right? Or living organisms, you can say. And also you have seen the scientific journey, right? So that journey only brings us to the cell theory. Okay. So do you know who gave the cell theory? Can you tell? By, looking at the previous journey of different scientists, you can try that, okay? And which discoveries led to understanding of cells? This I have already told. So let's quickly understand exactly how the discovery of cell came into picture. Okay, so first of all, Schleiden and Schwann differently they worked to not together, but separately they were working. And Schleiden got to a conclusion where he decided or got to know that plants are made up of cells, and Schwann told us that animals are made up of cells. So we got to know any living thing we can think of is mostly made up of cell. Okay, there are exceptions. We'll see that. We'll talk about viruses. Okay. Then Rudolf Virchow in 1855, he modified this theory and he told that the cells are coming from pre-existing cells. Okay. So these were the three scientists who prominently gave the basis for cell theory. And that's how the modern cell theory, was laid. Okay, so Schleiden was a German botanist. Okay, he used to work with plants, botanist, right? And he actually studied about different plant tissues under microscope, and he understood that all the plants are made up of cells. Okay, now let's go to Schwann, what he was doing. So in next year itself, he was a German zoologist. Okay, I'm not sure is it German or French. We'll have to see that. Okay, but he was zoologist. One second, I'm unable to notate. You can check and tell me this. Okay, right? And he basically what he did, he actually decided or got to a conclusion where he put this forward as all animals are made up of cell. Okay, so this helped us to expand our cell theory to more, knowing that not only plants are made up of cell, but animals and plants both are made up of cell. Animals and plants both were made up of cell, you can say, right? Okay. Now, so Rudolf Virchow, if what he talked about, he stated one statement. The origin was omnicellula e cellula. Omnis cellula e cellula. Sometimes they might ask you this statement. Sometimes they might ask you who said this. So that is Rudolf Virchow. And all the cells arise from pre-existing cell. This is the meaning of this statement. So do not forget it. All cells arise from pre-existing cell. So this was the third principle, and that is how the cell theory was completed. Okay, so let me just, yeah. So this was the three main principles of cell theory. The first principle was given by Schleiden and Schwann, that all the living organisms are composed of one or more cell. So that means, what do they mean by that? That even one cell, it can be complete organism, right? Complete organism, because it can perform all different functions. Okay, or maybe multiples, hundreds of cells combined together to make one organism. Okay, ignore this. Okay, now Schleiden and Schwann again gave the second principle of the theory, that is the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organism, and this is came out as definition also. Okay, so you can define cell as this. Now Rudolf Virchow said that all the cells arise from pre-existing cells only through cell division. Okay, so importance of cell theory. Why do we need to have, or learn cell theory? So it helps us making the foundation of biology. From here, we get to learn about tissues, organ, organism, organ system, everything else, ecology, right? So only after knowing about cell, we move forward. Understanding the life processes, how the growth, reproduction, how the photosynthesis, how the genes are being transferred, all these things get to know by, or we get, we get to know through cell theory only, because the basis was clear. Okay. Now, if we talk about, the scientific revolution, so it is laid the foundation of for modern biology to understand different fields like cell biology, genetics, biotechnology, bioinformatics, and different other things. Okay, and medical advances as well. For treating any disease, you have to know what and where the disease is being caused, what system it is affecting, and then only you can come up with a treatment, right? Okay, so this cell theory is there. Again, spontaneous generation. So cell theory we know, right? Now let's talk about a little bit spontaneous generation. So earlier people used to think that life could arise from spontaneously from non-living matter. They thought that maybe, carbon or, different kinds of different, elements, they combine together, or molecules combine together to form life. Okay. Maggots could be formed by rotting meat. People thought that maggots, okay, they are being formed, or they are, coming into life with the help of rotting meat. Mice could appear from dirty clothes and meat. People used to think that if you will keep your dirty clothes, right, in a maybe cupboard or some place for a very long time, mice would germinate or grow, or, basically will be born from that. That is completely, wrong belief. And that's why cell theory was, established. Okay, and no parent organism needed to create life. That is such a wrong statement. But again, science is all about discovering things and getting to know, better things, so that we can, eradicate whatever is wrong and come up with new ideas which are actually legit and true. Basically, those are the facts. Okay, so the discoveries will keep happening more, and we'll get to know more information about life later. Okay, right. So cells are, basically, if we summarize everything, they come from pre-existing cells. Cells divide because of that, and new cell are formed. Okay, new cells are formed with the help of pre-existing cell only, and growth and development is seen. Okay, so this is it. We have discussed this earlier as well. Okay, so try answering. Who proposed the cell theory? What do you mean by, or what does omnicellular e-cellular mean? Try answering the question. State any two main points of cell theory. And lastly, how did cell theory contradict the idea of spontaneous generation? Okay. So thank you so much. With this, I hope you enjoyed the session, and you can ask any of your doubts related to any, topics related to this chapter, or maybe different other chapters which I have taught earlier. So for that, you can contact me through my Urban Pro profile. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. Bye-bye. Good day.